It's time.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Now, right now, I want to talk to you about mushrooms. Well, look, there's a lot of stuff about climate change in the news, isn't there? And a world without plastic is what a lot of people are saying we should be heading for. And it turns out it could be a reality one day, thanks to a special material made from fungi. Pupils at Rockcliffe First School in Whitley Bay are among the first children in the world to use the material that could help the fight against climate change. They're using it to make sculptures for a special art trail in the town this summer. And our reporter, Caroline Briggs, has been finding out more.
I'm Adam Cooper. I'm the director of Threads in the Ground, which is a new climate hope organisation. 74% of adults in the UK experience climate anxiety, and that's not helpful for thinking through what we can do about it. So we're making more opportunities for people to play and experiment with climate change ideas and action.
What are you doing here with the children?
We're creating the world's first fungal sculpture trail. We're using a cutting-edge eco-material, which is made using fungus. All of the children have been designing their own sculpture concepts and then fabricating these new living sculptures from this material.
It looks very organic. It's probably the best word for it. Can we have a look at exactly what it is and what it feels like?
So what's in this bag is a kind of mass of straw and fungus, and then when it's ready, the children mash up the substrate stuff so that it's pliable. We add a bit of water to it. They then fill the pre-prepared mould, and the fungus kind of colonizes and takes over the space that we've prepared and creates this, if you imagine, it's kind of like a mushroom polystyrene, except it's biodegradable, it's fire retardant, it's light, it's strongish, and we're looking forward to being able to show what they've made with it.
Evan, Nate, Finley.
And you're all ripping this into chunks and dumping it in water, I'm guessing to soften it, is that right?
It feels like a snake. They're slimy.
And what do you think it smells like, Nate?
I think it smells like some porridge oats that have just came out of the cupboard.
You wouldn't eat it though, would you?
No. It feels like grass, like hay.
And what are you going to make with it?
I was thinking of a mushroom crown.
And Nate, what are you going to make?
A huge smiley face.
I'd rather make like a forest or a solar system, or a massive sea.
You seem quite excited about this project.
I am. I like it that we're out of our lessons.
How old are you, Ellie?
9.
If you can make anything in the world, what would you make?
I'd make a big heart for my mother.
Alicia Ratcliffe. I am a reception teacher, but I'm also sustainability coordinator at Rockcliffe.
And you run Eco Club?
I do. We've got a team of eco warriors who are really passionate about protecting our planet.
What do they get out of doing projects like this?
Oh, so much leadership skills and really having a voice in change and making a difference and being part of the future.
It's a meeting of art and climate concerns. Do you think that helps them understand concepts?
Absolutely. We've got children who are in nursery and reception who absolutely can understand the bigger issues by using art as a medium. One little boy in my class made part of his design, which was a tree with a plastic bag that was stuck onto it. And just those discussions and using art as a medium for that was really powerful.
And how does it feel to be the first school in the world to be doing something like this?
So exciting. What a privilege that we can really be part of future solutions. We're not greenwashing, we're not just switching off a few taps, we're actually really thinking about what could be used for a sustainable future and a sustainable organisation.
Absolutely amazing. Cutting edge eco material right here in the northeast. Now, you heard Adam Cooper from Threads in the Ground at the start of that report, and I'm pleased to say we've dragged Adam into the studio this morning. Morning, Adam.
Morning, how are you doing?
Yeah, very well, thank you. No, I was really excited when I knew you were coming in because we talk about this sort of like things on the radio, and then sometimes I never get to see them. But you've actually brought in some of the material that you're talking about this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. I've brought you a lovely Tupperware full of the raw stuff, and I've brought you a couple of blocks that are at different stages. So we've got the bigger one is sort of professionally made. That's our prototype. You'll see I've been drilling holes in it and things and gluing it with different stuff. But then you've got a couple of smaller pieces that the children have made. So we filled some little box, kind of the chopped tomato boxes that you get for cooking. So we washed out some of those and filled it with the stuff, and they've turned into these kind of building block things.
Okay, so I've got two smaller sort of brick-shaped ones here. I've got one that looks like a sort of miniature patio slab.
Yeah.
It's very lightweight because it's this material that's been grown. So these, am I right? So this is actually these have been grown. This is fungi. This has been grown. It's like a material that's actually been sort of grown from nothing.
Yeah. So what you're holding, it's a mix of sort of straw and sample of the fungus, and we fill the mold with it, and the fungus eats the straw or whatever you've used as the kind of food. And I mean, we forget that fungus, when you look at a mushroom, that's just the fruit.
Yeah.
Think of it like the apple on the tree. That's not the thing. The fungus is these huge number of threads that run through everything, run through the soil. If you pick up a teaspoon of soil anywhere, you'd have between 3 kilometers and 10 kilometers of these threads, these mycelium running through that 1 teaspoon, which would, if you stretched it out, that would go from Newcastle to Whitley Bay, about 12 kilometers. So what you're holding in your hand, if you imagine if you unspooled that, how long that would be. And it's those threads that kind of bind the whole thing together and turn into this block material.
With this amount of block, I could do the full metro system, couldn't I, around the whole northeast? So this has real world applications, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So IKEA have started replacing all their polystyrene packaging with this stuff because it's got similar properties. You can make kind of alternative plasterboard with it. There's some architecture firms that are making bricks for it. So, and it's, like I say, it's fully compostable. Those things that you're holding, if we broke those up and sprinkled them around in your garden, they'd turn into soil in about 4 months.
That's fantastic. So is this, because I mean, look, plastic is obviously the thing we see in all the videos in the sea, and Greta Thunberg's knocking around there trying to get it out the seas and all this sort of stuff, and people are like, look, we really need to find an alternative. Do you think this is a genuine alternative to plastic then? Could we be seeing, I don't know, Lego bricks made out of this one day?
Yeah, so this feeling that you've got now talking about this stuff and that excitement, and anybody that's listening and thinking, oh, what could it be used for? That's what we're focusing on. That this is one example of the countless new technologies and materials and methods that are coming out, because we're the generation that are coming up with these solutions. It's us that are going to be mitigating climate change, that are finding the new path forwards. And this is one example of the different ways that we can be doing that. And we're putting that in the hands of children. So the material itself, there's all kinds of possibilities, of really exciting possibilities, but it's that feeling that I want you to hold on to once I'm gone today, and thinking of the possibilities for change and play and excitement in climate action.
Okay, and so we've got some solid built blocks here that have been grown and solid, and then you've also got a Tupperware of, am I right in saying this is live fungus? It's like the live fungi.
Yeah.
And I can mould this myself into something.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you grab a bit of it, and then you could start to break it into chunks, and you think of it as
it feels okay. It's sort of like it's squishy but still a bit rough. There's I can feel like the straw, the hay in it.
Yeah.
And it's like breaking apart sort of like chipboard, I would say.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's like soggy chipboard that you've left on the allotment for too long.
Well, when I was our yard was full of rubbish last year before I had it done, and it had a chipboard leant up against the wall. Yeah. And this is exactly how it felt when I picked it up and it fell apart. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then you can just mould that into anything you want.
Yeah, so I've brought a little plant pot for you to, and if you wanted to, you could fill that with the substrate stuff.
Yeah. So I'll just push that in there.
Yeah, and we'd cover that with a bit of cling film or something like that to keep to make its little climate. You'd leave that for 5 or 6 days, and when you check on it, the whole thing will have turned white. That's all of the fungus, all the mycelial threads spreading through the material and binding everything together and eating up that hay.
No, I'm doing a bad job of breaking this up here, because I am nervous, because our engineer Nigel will be listening to this going, do not chuck fungus down my faders. But okay, well, I'll keep doing that. I'll try and make this little thing. Adam, if anyone's interested in this, where can they find out more?
Go to mushroomsculpt.com. And there's a form there that you can get in touch with us, because we'll soon be announcing some workshops in Whitley Bay and in the centre of Newcastle and Durham and Sunderland that anybody can sign up to come along and get hands-on with this material. Anybody working in a school listening, if you want to replicate this, we're going to be publishing all of the resources for free, open source. So any school in Newcastle, in the northeast, in the country can replicate this project at the cost of the materials. And you don't even need to get us involved to do it. You can if you need a bit of help.
Nice.
So mushroomsculpt.com for anybody that wants to get involved or do their own version of this.
Brilliant. And finally, I've got to ask, I have been, a little bird told me that the kids have got a nickname for you. Is that right?
Yeah, so now when I'm walking through Whitley Bay near the school, I get shouted across the street, "Morning, Mr. Mushroom." And yeah.
Excellent. Well, look, Adam, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much for bringing what is an amazing technology that's right here in the northeast. And I say technology, it's like a live technology. It's living right next to me. This one guy, really appreciate you coming in.
Well, can I say a quick thank you to Rockcliffe First School, an absolutely fantastic school, amazing teachers, amazing kids, and to New Writing North and Arts Council England that have helped make it happen.
Absolutely, you've just done that. Brilliant. Adam, thank you so much for joining us. That was Adam Cooper, aka Mr. Mushroom, from the Climate Hub organisation Threads in the Ground. As I say, more info.